What else are you looking at in the world today in terms of portfolios management? Are there any other asset classes that you see particularly undervalued or overvalued that might be available on the short side?
Well, I think the market overall is way too high. I think it's going to decline. I've been a short seller for a number of years. However, I've found it frustrating to be short stocks right now. I'm still obviously a big owner of Federated Prudent Bear, that I founded 15 years ago, now capably run by Doug Noland and his team. I'm a believer in that the U.S. dollar is going to decline. I'm a believer in, I've been buying the VIX ETF, but just because I think that the VIX is going to levitate again, and if you can buy it in the 20, 30 range, it's going to go to over 100, and there's a lot of money to be made right there. So that's a pretty easy asymmetric bet to make.
Are you basically suggesting that there's going to be another Lehman type event occurring here by buying the VIX?
Yes, I think there's going to be some type of an extraordinary credit event to come, and it's going to probably involve the currency. There's going to be another meltdown down the road. It's just a matter of when. Yeah. What's interesting is, a lot of people at this conference, see this, and a lot of the people here saw it all coming in '08. And if you look at the conventional economists and strategists that are out there, the ones that are all telling you everything's going to be okay, all those guys essentially missed it in '08. They had no idea what was coming in '08 and '07. But the people that got it right in '08, '07 just saw that we kicked the can down the road. We just relied on the same Keynesian policies in order to print money, follow the same Al Davis School of Economics, and they realized how much worse it's going to get when eventually the ship hits the sand.
Yeah, understood. Is it likely to be a sovereign debt crisis that triggers this next problem, or is it something within the banking system, or a combination of both? What are you thinking?
Probably a combination of both, because a lot of the European banks have such high sovereign debt exposure, and I worry about the European banks. I worry about the U.S. banks. You look at what's happened in some of the U.S. banks, their stock price performance lately. Bank of America, around $9 a share now. The U.S. housing market has not really recovered, and looks like it's going through a second leg of decline. There's been pretend and extend policies that have been followed by all the banks really around the world, where they have not written down, these assets as they should have been.
Yeah, this is something that I've been following, since the March of 2009 low, after the Fed came in and started doing quantitative easing and the stock market started rising. It's interesting to look and compare the overall stock market indices to the financial sector within the stock market, because it hasn't really been keeping up with the overall stock market. And that usually that kind of a bearish divergence suggests that there's still more problems in the financial industry. So, the way I see it as well is that we are going to have another Lehman type of event, whether it's going to be a bank or a government, or perhaps even something that people really aren't talking about, but a derivative issue. Because ultimately that was what there's the big issue in Lehman: who is going to take care of all those derivatives that had on its book, and who is going to cover all of those losses. So
exactly, and who knows what else could happen? Another black swan event. There could be another geopolitical event. Issues in the Middle East today. I mean, there could be another war. Unfortunately, governments typically resort to external enemies and create external enemies, and you look at the hostility around the world with inflation picking up and protests by thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people around the globe because of this fiat money has created rising prices for energy and food, et cetera, and there's a lot of people that just don't have that much income.
Yeah.
And you look at that there could be another outbreak of terrorism again. There's all kind of black swan events that could occur.